Hey, what's up guys, it's Bakes here and thank you for joining me in this video, joining me to go to the drive-ins to watch Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2. It was actually round about this time last year. I also did a video like this bringing you guys to the drive-ins to watch the first Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey movie. And that was my first time sort of doing one of these movie nights slash vlog style videos, you know, bringing the camera around with me. And I actually haven't watched it back recently, which I probably should have, just to see what areas I could have improved on, but either way we're going to be doing that again tonight. So you'll be joining me on the trip there. I'm currently just sitting out the front of my house in the car at the moment, and just on the drive there I guess we can talk about expectations for this movie, my thoughts of the first movie. We might be stopping for snacks along the way, I haven't decided yet. I'll definitely get some food once we get there, like some popcorn, maybe a drink or something like that. We'll chat shit while the trailers are playing and everything, and obviously I won't record the whole way through the movie, but you can join me for little snippets and I can give you some updates, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So without delaying any longer, I got to get going because I want to actually make it there on time. But yeah, we're going to the drive-ins. Thank you for joining me guys, and hopefully you enjoy this video. So far, I'm actually not too far into my drive. It's about a half-hour drive to get to my closest drive-in theatre. I think I said this in my video last year when we went and watched the first movie. The only place that is actually close to me showing Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey is the drive-in, so you know, there was no other way of going to just a normal standard theatre. Have to go to the drive-ins to see this movie, which isn't a problem. But as I said, my closest drive-in theatre is about a half-hour drive, so hopefully the movie is worth it. And I thought that's a good place to start with our chats driving to the drive-ins. Thinking back of my thoughts of the first movie from last year. So as I said, it was about this time last year when I watched it. And honestly, I think I have like pretty fun memories of that movie, to be honest. As in, was the movie great? No, by all means, it's definitely wasn't anything special. The story was pretty much non-existent. Really, the film just was Winnie the Pooh, and Piglet was there as well, taking out characters with no depth to them. They were just there to be killed off. But it had charm about it, you know. A lot of people were complaining about the designs of Winnie the Pooh and Piglet, and I kind of liked it. I've seen that they've had a bit of a makeover for this movie because the budget has gone up and everything, but there was something about those designs in the first movie that I still kind of liked. I thought the kills were kind of cool. There were a lot of things in that first movie that I actually didn't mind, that a lot of people did seem to complain about. One of my favorite parts of that first movie was the opening sequence where it was like it was like this sketched drawing, and like it was sort of explaining the backstory of how Winnie the Pooh and all the other creatures have gone feral since Christopher Robin abandoned them. I actually thought that was a really cool opening to the movie. But then from there out, the only thing that I really enjoyed was kind of seeing Winnie the Pooh and Piglet on screen and watching them kill these characters that honestly I don't think anyone really cared about the characters. As I said, they didn't have much depth. They were just there to be killed, but you know, it doesn't hurt to have a slasher like that every now and then. My expectations for this sequel this time around, like I brought up before, I've heard that the budget has gone up by a fair bit, which you kind of presume, because the first movie, though it wasn't great, it was pretty popular. Like everyone was just talking about it, purely probably because of the novelty of it, you know. Winnie the Pooh slasher movie, you know, it was just on everyone's lips. So the budget has gone up for this movie this time around. I've heard mixed things. I've heard some people say that it's pretty much the same as the first movie, just with a better budget. Sorry, my camera's like sliding around. Yeah, it's pretty much the same as the first movie, just with a better budget. And then I've also heard a lot of people say that the movie is a lot better because of the budget, you know, like they can expand on locations and on the gore, and you know, you've got more killers this time around. I believe Tigger and the owl is in this movie, maybe the rabbit as well. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that those characters are in the movie. I know Tigger and the owl is, but I'm not too sure about the rabbit actually. But yeah, all I'm hoping for is just a bit of fun from this movie, to be completely honest. But at the moment, I've just pulled into a 7-Eleven because even though I will get snacks once I do get to the drive-ins, I think there's just a couple of things here that, you know, I want to grab on the way that could be a little bit cheaper than actually at the drive-in. So I'll join you again soon on the drive there, but just going to go inside and find some drinks.
It's time for a tasty and refreshing snack. We promise to satisfy your hunger, your thirst, your sweet tooth. So visit our refreshment center now. Let's go!
Alright, so I'm back from my little trip inside 7-Eleven. To be fair, I've actually been back for a little while. There's a football game on at the moment, Port Adelaide versus Melbourne. For those Aussies that are actually watching my video, you will know what I'm talking about. Actually a really tight game. I think it's halftime at the moment, and if I heard correctly, it's a draw. My pick to win was Port Adelaide, but like a really evened midfield. Like, I can imagine, like, I haven't been watching the game obviously, just hearing little bits on the radio, but Butters and Rosie would be having a ton of it. I've heard Petrarca's had a fair bit of it as well. I presume Willem Drew is tagging Clayton Oliver, so his possessions would be low, but either way, it sounds like a close game, so hopefully I have picked the winner, but you know, I wouldn't be surprised if Melbourne win. Obviously, they're both two teams in form. But anyway, I came out of 7-Eleven. I was listening to that on the radio for a little bit, and then I saw these big headlights come through the back, and it was a delivery truck trying to get in this little spot that was next to me, and I think it was having a bit of trouble, so you know, I just thought I'd help. I chucked in reverse and moved out of the way, and then he got out of his truck, and he was a foreign guy, and he was saying something to me. It seemed like he was being polite and nice and saying thank you or whatever, but to be completely honest, I had no fucking idea what he was saying, so I just did the old, yeah, no worries, buddy. And I think he knew I had no clue because he was looking at me like, what? Like, maybe he was asking me something. I have no fucking idea, but I didn't understand what he was saying, so fuck, surely I did the right thing. I just moved out of the way. But either way, I've backed up a little bit now. And like I said, I sort of went in there kind of knowing what I wanted. I knew that I wanted to grab some drinks, because like I said before, when you go to the drive-ins or just the cinema in general, food and drinks are always so expensive, and I can kind of understand, you know, spending a little bit more money on the food because it's fresh, it's normally warm, like the popcorn or whatever. Still, it costs a lot more than it should. It fucking costs an arm and a leg just for a medium popcorn or whatever, but I can kind of understand that. The drinks, however, it's a bit more annoying spending so much money because you know, you can sort of get drinks from anywhere for less than half the price, and also you have a bit more variety. Normally when you go to the drive-ins or cinema or whatever, you have, you know, a handful of options, but I kind of actually knew what drinks I wanted to get as well, because what I do for work, I travel a lot. I'm going all over the place all the time, so I do a lot of stop-bys at 7-Elevens, Shells, BPs. It's actually scary how much I know about what's coming in and out of those, you know, service stations every now and then. But I actually stopped by a 7-Eleven last week for work, and I saw that these drinks are new. I presume they're just new to maybe Australia. They've probably been around other places for a long time, but Mountain Dew passion fruit flavored. I'm actually kind of a fan. Like, I don't drink a lot of you know, sodas and soft drinks and whatever, but whenever I have to like pick one, I've sort of been gravitating to Mountain Dew whenever it's there, either that or like Pepsi or something. But I am a huge fan of passion fruit, so no way I was going to fucking turn this down. I'm actually going to give it a taste now. As I said, it hasn't been there for very long. I know that it's sort of new in store, but I haven't tried it, so let's give it a go. Passion fruit anything is fucking fire. Like, if you're a passion fruit hater, like, grow up. It's so fucking good. It's probably my favorite, like, flavors for, like, you know, soft drinks and candies and everything. It's so good. Grape probably second, but sometimes you get some grapes that are like way too artificial and it just doesn't hit. But while I was in there was another new flavor that I haven't seen before, so I thought I'd grab this one and eventually give it a go. I'm not sure if I'm going to get around to giving it a go tonight, but watermelon flavored, major melon flavor, Mountain Dew again. As I said, I might get around to trying that tonight. I probably will, because that passion fruit was fire, so I'll probably fucking fly through that. And by the time I get to the drive-ins and I'm eating popcorn as well, I'll just get more thirsty. And yeah, so I'll probably eventually get around to that. But I kind of knew that I wanted to try that passion fruit one from other visits to 7-Eleven. But yeah, so when we get to the drive-ins, I still will pick up some popcorn and everything. But yeah, I'm getting more excited now that we're getting closer. I'm probably just going to stop by another little like car park or something, just so I can like listen to the game and see how my live bet is going, because I did put some money on the game, so I want to see how that's going. And obviously I'm not going to do that while I'm driving, but there is a bit of like traffic up ahead, so that's why I want to go and do it at the next car park instead of sitting here and, you know, maybe potentially getting caught in it. But yeah, I'm really excited now that we're getting closer to the start time for the movie. As I said, all I really want is just to have fun with this movie. I know it's not going to be great, like in the sense of a good movie, but I mean, fuck, like just some cool kills, some cool designs for these twisted characters, and yeah, that's all I really want. So I'll catch up with you again soon, guys.
It's our pleasure to welcome you to your friendly drive-in theatre. For the information of those who are attending the drive-in for the first time, the following hints will make you feel at home and add to your enjoyment. Firstly, if you've not already done so, remove the speaker from the stand and place it in your car. Secondly, adjust the volume control to suit your requirements. Right for loud, left for soft. Our ultra-modern snack bar is now open and ready to serve you. Before leaving, replace the speaker on its stand, then drive forward and move to your left. You must never reverse out of your position. Thanks, everyone. We trust you have a very pleasant evening.
Alright, so I am approaching the drive-ins now. I just, like, as I said before, I was saying, like, oh, is it worth it going to the drive-ins to watch a movie like Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey? But I think just the atmosphere of the drive-ins is so fucking cool in of itself that kind of makes it worth it. Like, I'm coming down the street and I can just see the light of the screens and, you know, the decorations and everything off in the distance. And honestly, I don't come to the drive-ins very often. The only time I'll ever come to the drive-ins is if like a friend invites me and, you know, I'm going with people, or there's a movie like this where it's the only place showing, in this case, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey nearby. There's actually another cinema not too far from here that I had to go to last year to watch Godzilla -1. It was the only place showing it, and it was a really like high pricey, a bit fancy cinema, but it was cool. It was actually inside of a prison, but the prison's obviously been done out and it's turned into a cafe, and it's got all this other shit in there now, but that was just a really cool experience. Sorry, I'm just going to put my window down to actually pay for my ticket. Hi mate, how are you? One for Winnie the Pooh at $9.40. Just on card.
You are in Cinema 1, which is to the far right.
Yep.
Radio station's on your ticket. The
Too
other
easy.
movie's nearly finished, so when you go in there, just turn your lights down. Just Yeah. Might still be going.
Yeah, no worries.
Going credits.
Too easy, mate.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks, mate. I can see now that they got Ghostbusters Frozen Empire playing on one of the screens. I actually went and watched that earlier this week, which I thought was a lot of fun. They got Kung Fu Panda 4 playing on another one. And on the third screen, again, they have Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Alright, so I'm just going to quickly find a spot to park so I can turn my lights off and, you know, I'm not interrupting the movie for other people. That will do. Alright. So yeah, I just really enjoy the atmosphere of the drive-ins, as I said, even though I don't come here extremely often. You know, I just think being here in the environment in of itself is pretty cool. Yes, I did stop by and check to see how my multi was going, how my bet was going, and I was listening to the game. As I said, I know no one asked and no one probably cares, but Port Adelaide have taken a 2-goal lead at the moment. As I said, they were my pick to win, even though like it wasn't unlikely Melbourne could have had a chance of beating them. You know, just with Stephen May out in defence, I know they would have probably put Harrison Petty back in defence and all that as well. But I don't know, I just had a little bit more faith in Port Adelaide from what I've seen this season as well. But anyway, I'm going to go in and pick up my popcorn. The cars are leaving now. I guess Kung Fu Panda's just ended. This is the screen that Winnie the Pooh is going to be on. And I will join you again soon.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Alright, so I'm walking across now to the Village Drive-In Diner to go get some popcorn. It looks like another movie just ended because Godzilla X Kong is playing on that screen now, which I also watched earlier in the week, and I thought that was fun. I mean, it's at the point where fucking Kong is rocking an infinity gauntlet and Godzilla's doing fucking swan dives into the ocean, so yeah, that's the state of that franchise. But Ghostbusters Frozen Empire is still playing on the other screen. And yeah, I won't be filming, I don't think, while I go into the diner because I haven't got that much balls. I think it's also a bit obnoxious to have a camera in everyone's face, but I don't know, I might keep the audio going while I order my food. So yeah, let's get some fucking popcorn.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Get ourselves some snacks. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Get ourselves some snacks. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Get ourselves some snacks.
Alright guys, I'm back from getting food. All I got was a medium popcorn because, as you know, I already grabbed my drinks from 7-Eleven, and to be quite honest, I actually wasn't that hungry. Before I left, I had a nice dinner with my dad, and he cooked it really well, so I ate a lot, pretty full already. So the medium popcorn that I grabbed and drinks were fine, so I didn't feel like I needed anything else. A quick couple little story times. One, I was in there and a chick that I asked on a date one time was standing in front of me, and I was like, oh, okay, because I asked her on a date and obviously she didn't want to go with me. I know, what's wrong with me? But she was standing in front of me. I'm like, oh, I hope she doesn't turn around. And it seemed like she was on a date with a guy. He turns around and he's like, oh, we haven't chosen, you can go in front. And she just looks at me, I look at her, whatever. My next little story time, kids are so fucking dumb, like I swear to God they're dumb. So I'm walking out from getting my popcorn and whatever, and I've got my hands full. I've got the camera, it wasn't filming, but got the camera, got the popcorn. I'm taking my jumper off because I'm sweaty, and there's this little 5-6 year old girl, like real little though, and she's swinging on the little radio bars by the car, and she's like doing little swings around it, whatever, and we just lock eyes, and she just goes to me, oh, I can do a flip. And she was so little, I'm like, oh, better not. Before I'm even done, bam, hits the ground like a sack of shit, And normally that stuff makes me laugh so fucking bad because it's so funny. But even I quinced. I was like, oof, because it did look a bit rough. She starts crying. The mum was close by, and clearly she's been fucking dealing with this shit all day, because straight away she's like, and she's like, sorry. And I'm like, no, it's alright. Is she okay? And, you know, whatever. Kids are so fucking dumb. Yeah, but the screen has just turned on. They're doing adverts, not for movies or anything, just, you know, promotions for businesses and whatever. I love when they turn the screen on after, like, between movies, because it goes all black and whatever. And where we are, there is a lot of fruit bats, so the screen comes on and then all the bats just fly off out of the way because it's now on and all the lights are there. I think that's really cool. But either way, I'm sure the trailers will start soon. I'll let you know what we've seen trailers for, and I'll give you an update soon. Alright, so we got a couple of trailers going on at the moment. I was just sitting in the car and it was literally commercial after commercial after commercial, and I'm like, okay, I guess the trailers are still a little while off. So I go take a piss, I come out and the trailers are going, so fuck that. As I was walking back to the car, they had the trailer for that Bill Skarsgård action movie. I think it's called Boy Kills World or something. As I said, even though it's an action film, I'll probably still check it out. It looks pretty interesting. As I was getting in and setting up this camera for the trailers, the trailer for Tarot came on. I think it's called Tarot. I originally think it was under the name Horoscopes or something. It looks a little bit cheesy, but I'm sure it'll still be kind of entertaining, because it looks like there's lots of entities and beings in that movie. So I guess you could have fun with, like, the designs and backstories of those monsters, or whatever you want to call it. And now we are watching the trailer for Abigail, which I think actually looks pretty cool. I remember when before the trailer came out and we knew a little bit more information about this movie, I remember, like, it was meant to be like a Universal Dracula's daughter sort of thing, and I'm guessing it's still along those lines. We got this little vampire girl, but I think this one looks kind of fun as well. Yeah, I'm not going to talk with you guys through all the trailers or whatever, but yeah, I just thought I'd catch you up on the trailers that have been going, so I'll see you again soon. Alright guys, it looks like the movie is starting, so I've got my popcorn here. Okay, some narration. I guess I'll check in with you a little bit into the movie, guys. Yeah.
All things truly wicked start from innocence.
It didn't stay buried. As if the earth itself was allowing this horror to rise up.
Alright guys, we just had the introduction to the movie. Pretty gory. Our characters have got straight into it. It had another animated opening, which looked really cool again, and you can already tell that the budget is so much higher. But really gory, cool start to the movie actually. I'm already like flying through my popcorn, but it's really fucking good. But yeah, good start to the movie. For sure. And we've already seen a new character. Spoiler alert, it's Owl, but yeah. And this passion fruit Mountain Dew, it's so fucking good. Pretty good. Alright, see you soon guys. There we go. Another kill.
Have a look at this dickhead.
What the fuck is he wearing?
He looks fucking stupid.
Home run!
So there we go, guys, all finished with Winnie the Pooh 2. The movie actually finished a little while ago. In fact, I'm actually in the driveway of my house. The movie was over, and I guess they were in a rush to get the next movie started, so they were sort of getting people to leave kind of quick, and then I didn't have time to set up my camera, and I was like, fuck it, I'll just do it when I get home. But you know what? The movie actually wasn't half bad. That being said, the movie wasn't great either, but it definitely had more positives than the first movie. Like what we spoke about on the way in, it definitely had a higher budget, which at the end of the day, the budget isn't the be-all and end-all to make a good movie. Like, I've definitely seen some really low-budget films where they at least have a good story and a engaging idea, and that's like enough to get it over the line and have you entertained. So the budget isn't everything, but I think it helped with this movie for sure. Another thing that I think helped is it seems like a crew actually put their heads together to try and think of a decent story this time around. Because that was a big thing with the first movie. Like, I think the plot for the first one is we have Winnie the Pooh, let's just make him kill people. Like, I don't remember if there was much of a story in that one at all. So it seems like they actually tried a little bit with that. Not only with the story, with the characters as well. Not all of them, but especially Christopher Robin this time around seemed a little bit more three-dimensional, which was good. I couldn't figure out if it was the same guy playing Christopher Robin from the first movie. He definitely had a bigger presence, and I feel like it is a different guy, but I don't remember the first movie that well. The last time I saw it was at the drive-ins last year, so it's not too fresh in my mind. And as I said, there was still some like bad performances and everything. Like, the acting wasn't superb, but the acting was a little bit better, and you know, some of the characters had a bit more depth to them, which was nice. I liked our monsters and creatures. Obviously we had Winnie the Pooh and Piglet again, but I liked our additions. My favourite was probably Tigger. He just had a bit of go about him, and he had some good one-liners. I also liked Owl, mainly because the fact that Owl could fly, it just gave us a bit more variety with the types of attacks and kills, which I thought was pretty cool. And they also tried to give a bit more backstory to the creatures as well, which, as I said, it's been a while since I've seen the first movie, but it feels like they may have retconned some things. Like, as I said, don't quote me on that, I could definitely be wrong, but I feel like I was going, okay, is that what was going on in the first movie? I wasn't too sure, but with that being said, the backstory that they were going with this time around was actually pretty cool, and I did like it. I'm just waiting for Eeyore to show up, though if I'm being honest, I think in the first movie, during like the breakdown of what was going on, they said that the other creatures ate Eeyore, which is very typical of Eeyore, but I love him because he's depressed. But yeah, maybe he can, like, I don't know, come back from the dead or whatever, I don't know. And also their designs and their prosthetics and the makeup was a lot better as well. This time they actually looked like creatures instead of someone in a mask trying to look like a creature. Like in the first movie, Winnie the Pooh, he just had this rubbery look to him, a permanent smile on his face, and it was a bit goofy. Honestly, this time around, even though I will say the movie was better and probably more enjoyable, it did lose a little bit of its charm from the first movie, because the first movie isn't great, but they were trying. So it almost was like the first movie was just that little bit more charming compared to this one, because they did manage to actually clean up, you know, a lot of the issues that was there with the first one. But yeah, no, as I said, I liked the background that they gave to these creatures. The designs were better, characters had a bit more depth. Again, they opened with the animated introduction. It was pretty much just explaining the events of the first movie as a refresher, and explaining the events between the first movie and the new one. But I think the animated intros are really cool. I thought that was a cool thing about the first movie. And again, with the higher budget, they did a better job of doing that. As I was leaving, I checked the other screens. There was another 2 screens there. They had Immaculate on one, which is a movie that I saw also through the week. And I'm not going to lie, I feel like I kind of underrated Immaculate. With that being said, I still didn't love it. I thought it was okay. It was definitely not what I expected. I've done a really good job of not reading reviews and just going into movies blind so far this year. And I thought it was going to be a supernatural sort of paranormal movie, but it wasn't that at all. And it actually had a fair bit of fucking balls about it, which I really appreciated too. But with that being said, I still didn't love Immaculate, but I do feel like I kind of underrated it. And then on the last screen, they had Imaginary, which is a movie I seen like 2 weeks ago. And for a film called Imaginary, it lacks any imagination at all. I actually heard it was Tyler from the 22 Shots of Moods and Horror podcast. I read his review on Letterboxd, and he also said it in one of the episodes, and he explained it so well. Imaginary is like if you put a prompt into an AI generator and said, give me a horror movie about imaginary friends, and that's pretty much exactly what you would get. So yeah, if you haven't seen Imaginary, you're not missing out on much. That movie's pretty bad. I was hoping before the movie they were going to show a trailer for the Bambi horror movie, which is done by the studio that did the Winnie the Pooh films, which they didn't. I heard maybe in the States they played the trailer for that one, but I'm not too sure. But at the end of this movie, they showed drawings of their upcoming films. So they showed Bambi, who was like zombified and mutated. They showed a Peter Pan one. They showed Pinocchio, which out of all the properties, that's probably the one that suits most to being a horror film. They showed Rabbit from Winnie the Pooh, so I'm guessing he'll be in the next film. And I know they're meant to be doing like this crossover with all their properties and putting them all into one film, which will be interesting, I guess. Yeah, shit like that's just getting out of control. You know, you got the fucking Grinch horror movie, you've got Steamboat Willie that's now public domain, and there's going to be horror movies with that. What else happened today? Oh, halfway through the movie, like I said, we get a lot of fruit bats around that area. Halfway through the film, it wasn't a lot of them, maybe like, you know, a handful, flew through, but really low. And fruit bats are known for shitting, so definitely some shit hit my windscreen, but then also just debris in general just fell on the windscreen about halfway through the movie. I'm like, what the fuck? And I just seen them all flying low, and I had to put my fucking washers on to get it off. So yeah, that was interesting. But the drive-ins, I think, is just a cool experience. Like, as I said, I don't go there very often, and it's not like I will be going to the drive-ins when, you know, I have the option to watch it at my local theatre anyway, just because it's a half-hour drive. It's a little more expensive going to the drive-ins. And also, it's probably easier to be engaged with the film in the theatre. Like, I find it easier to get comfortable and just lock in with the movie. At the drive-ins, I'm not going to lie, I'm a fidgeter in the car just because, you know, you're pretty claustrophobic in a way. So I move around. You get distracted because, you know, cars are going by with their lights on like that. You got people walking around and yeah, things like that. So it's probably harder to get engaged at the drive-ins. But the past few times I've gone, you know, this film, the first Winnie the Pooh, Terrifier 2 was the other one as well. That was a midnight showing and the movie went for 3 hours. I remember I was tired as fuck. I was actually contemplating on grabbing an energy drink instead of the Mountain Dews, but I thought I'd manage. I thought I'd be okay. Normally I grab like a Monster or a Mother Energy or something like that, but not this time around. Either way, finally home. If you have seen Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, guys, and thank you for joining me for this video. I'd like to hear feedback because I don't think anyone commented on my first drive-in experience that I filmed with the first movie. So if you like these videos and want to see more of something like this, let me know in the comments, guys, or just give me some in general feedback, because as I said, I can't remember watching back my first video. I'll have to watch this one back and just see if it's any fucking good. I also used a new mic, so I'm guessing at some points it was a little bit shaky or whatever, but yeah. Anyway, I'm tired. It's like past midnight now, so I'm ready to go inside. Thank you for joining me, guys, and I'll see you for another video soon. Peace.